Okay, I'm just going to claim that I'm on time now. A minute late. Look, it took time to connect. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it. Says it's got an excellent connection. Now, I did change the server from like backup to primary. I'm feeling daring, so I'm going to actually see. I think I can do it now it's started, but let's go to 3200 kilobits per second instead of 2900. I'm pushing this like to try and get good quality here, but I don't know if the internet connection will hold up. So if this works at 3200 kilobits per second, it should look better. The minimum we recommended is 3000 kilobits per second, and I was running below that. Now I am running above it, so it should look decent. Hello. Oh, the cat's going up the ladder. Right, well, like, we're literally right there, on the camera. And the Elena Cheese Goddess has arrived because I started streaming at a reasonable time. Hello. I do have to put my Gran Turismo music on. I had it set up for the most part. And yes, I added the bow here because, I mean, there's no whip. So I tried. I only added this fully this morning. But it is something that I think is quite a neat little touch. It's not going to be needed for the hair because there's no hair. And I've also got all this stuff from when I was trying to make stickers. So that's a thing. Yeah, the cat likes going on the bed, and the bed is like up there, if you can see it, just above me. And so he climbs a ladder when he feels like it to go up there. He also has this weird habit of going under this desk and trying to mine for something at the back of the desk. Like, it's just, there's nothing there, it's just a panel of like plywood or whatever, but he tends to scratch on it and just try and get somewhere. Yeah, I made an Orwella sticker. I've got all the other stickery stuff that I can use. That's why it's just kind of a mess on the turntable there, record turntable there. I did also find my flash drive. Like this, it's a USB-C on this end, so that had been missing for a long time. This had the Killer Queen image on it, I believe, so now I've found that I can actually continue work on that. Because I'm pretty sure I just saved it to the flash drive, which was a dumb decision, but now I have it. I have two of those 64 gig ones I got cheap, so they are what there is. I'll try the gamble command I did. I did set this up. Let's gamble the most appropriate thing. Cheese. This should work, okay, because I changed it to gamble a while ago. And yeah, I need to try and like get this working. I do not know how to draw a bow. The hat has one, but it's like hidden on the other side. I thought of colour matching it to that, but I don't know. Every time I see this, it's in a different colour. So I'm guessing it can change. This looks like a tail. That does not look like the end of a bow in the slightest. Now it looks a little more like it's supposed to. Has it worked? I mean, I did set the gamble thing. I don't know if it's going to work. Yeah. But you're no longer evil. Wait, it's working! It didn't work for me! Sure. Wait, I entered it the exact same way. Why is Sakura treating me this way? Oh no. Yeah, I did play with the things a bit, so it's like the wigged machine. I did think I added it to say like you have retrieved money from the wigged machine or something. I can't remember. It's been a while since I changed it, but it does work now. You can gamble. I think I did it before last week. Yeah, this I think needs some creases. Because I've not done that yet. I think I know. Like, I think it should be here kind of thing. Something along those lines, but I don't know, like, if that's going to... Just because that's, like, where between the legs and that. But I've not done a very good job of it. And, I mean, I should be off line art. I did some very basic colour. Just some really flat colour. And that did something. I think maybe if I'm going to have to simplify these. There we go. Yeah, Sakura's playing favoritism. But I'm the one who created you. You should like me. I think something like that, maybe. I think I'm onto something here. Don't know if it'll work for certain, but switch corner, yeah. I meant to do that, totally meant to do that. Nah, I shouldn't have switched corner. Like, that was kind of... It's one of those deliberate mistakes, you know, you make. Well, I make them. Right, I'm going to try gambling again, because I want to acquire money. What can I gamble? I know. Yeah, I'm going to mess up my own slot machine again. Because of reasons. I mean, yeah, the exclamation point, it's weird because it sometimes decides it likes capitals, sometimes it doesn't. There seems to be a bit of a delay anyway, which is irritating, but it is how it is. Colour. Yes, colour. So, I thought for the ribbon I'll just, like, match it to the one on the hat or something like that. Because this is just the easiest way I can think of managing it. The hand is off. The hand has kind of changed shape. And that's not lined up anymore. And I'm also on the wrong layer. I'm not on the colour layer to actually edit it. Base colour, there we go. I'm also on like a softer airbrush type pen, which I don't really want to be. And I don't know, I've adjusted the zoom on the YouTube window. That's the problem with the key dial. Yes, there is colour. Like, I did one thing. That's now a cheese block. Because I thought the cheese stick didn't actually work. It's just like the overall size of the item. That works better. So, that's why I've just changed it to that. Not a massive change, but it's just little things that I think add to the overall lore and stuff. And the mouth is probably the wrong colour. I don't know. Maybe it isn't. I think not. Sakura doesn't like me. Oh no. Sakura is also number 2. That is a thing. Yeah, vector line art. So we need to just make some final adjustments here, I think. Because the ribbon is going to look off if I keep running along this path. And again, I think it fits in the lore better because, yeah, no hair, so she doesn't actually need to wear a ribbon in this form, but it just makes more sense to tie it in than the whip, which was the original. So we'll go to base colour. Is that working? I think, oh, okay, it's kind of working. I've just seen what's going on, so vector line art again. I can trim this stuff quite easily. So we've got this. Hopefully this will make more sense when it's got a line of colour in there. I think I'll add a control point. Okay, so we're going to erase these pieces. I mean, it's imperfect, but I don't know, does that need erasing? I guess so. Like, I'm so confused with how to draw this stuff or how not to draw it. That I think that does go in the foreground. So if we go like so, move this out. Go delete control point there. I could add the beard. I mean, I'm not sure how easy it'll be, but I could add the beard. So, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I don't know if Indiana Jones actually has a beard. I'd have to look it up, but try and kind of mirror that and then see if I could just like add a beard to this design. We do not need that extra piece there. Just that I'm not so great at drawing beards. I don't actually have any characters with a beard, but I can try. Can't really hurt to try. So delete control point. Yeah. Yay, no beard. I get an easier job of things. I think that can also be deleted as a control point. So here we're getting to the point where that is, I think it's somewhat recognizable as a bow, at least enough that you know what it's meant to be. For now, that's going to be decent enough. I'm going to have to call it somewhere with like the detail level because I do want to get the colour shaded and stuff. No less, I think shading on this will be the easier part. So that should work quite well. I forgot, yeah, do not cross lines of a vector layer on here. That's pretty good. So that will mean basically, I think I've set that, yeah, I've set that as a reference layer. Not sure if you can see it, but vector line art, it has this little logo here, like a lighthouse. That means it is a reference layer and it will not cross it if you set the pens up like I have. So I can just do that and it makes it a lot easier and quicker to fill. So I think, as I said, use my right click there on the key dial, which is why I like that thing, really. Granted, as I say, I can just click on the wrong display and then it ends up resizing the YouTube chat window, so it's tiny. I mean, as I say, it's a bit of a mess of a bow, but it's serviceable, as I like to say. I'll add some detail in the shading also. I need to add or remove these. That was nice and quick. I think I just need to make this pen bigger. So I don't want it already on size 200. That's the nature of using such a large canvas. Am I dropping frames? Yes, I am. Or I've dropped frames at some point. I did turn the bit rate up. So it's dropped a few frames. It seems to have stabilised. I didn't notice when it did that. I mean, it could have been at the very start. I also changed it from the backup server, which I was streaming on for some reason, to the primary server on the YouTube. So if anything's going to give higher quality, it should be that. I mean, also, I do not have the most powerful video card in this machine. It's just, like, enough to do what I do and stream and everything, but I can't really change it without dumping £200 or whatever into the machine. And if it doesn't need it, I'd rather not throw all that money at it. I could try overclocking this, to be quite honest. For all it's worth, this GPU from 2016, I could just try ramping the clock speeds up and stuff to try and get a bit more performance out of it. But as I say, if it's working, it's working. I think I have bigger issues. Bitrate says like 2500, that's odd. So maybe it's varying to manage it. Yeah, I mean the frames say they're fine now. But before, at some point, it dropped 1282 frames. That's what OBS is telling me on the display just over to that side. That's what OBS tells me. It may have just been, as I say, at the very start of the stream when everything was connecting. It seems fine now, like it's not dropping any more frames. The issue with this PC is, I've actually got a GTX 1650, which is a 5-year-old card now, hard as it is for me to believe, but that video card is better than what's in here for performance. But then we're looking at this card is something like that long, there's that much space in the case, and then the other card is that long, so it just won't physically fit unless I take a angle grinder to it or something, and I don't like doing that to my PCs. Especially not when there's like only so many pieces I have that I've already combined to be as good as they can. The image of a Mini on here, I didn't know that was in Gran Turismo as a detailed model. Maybe it's on the newer games or something. I think it must be. I think it's in 7. I'm thinking of the days of Gran Turismo 6. I kind of used grey here, which is not accurate. But at least, if it's a theme I can run with, where is it? There's the eyedropper. There it is. It's right there, and I'm missing it. There we go. So I think I've corresponded the shoes and the bow and the hat, and it actually, I think, looks decent thematically. I did throw something together as a background. It's not much, but if nothing else, I can just throw some colour here and it will look like something. Yeah, frames are holding. 1282 still, so it's not dropping anymore. But that's the background I've got. Can probably move it to actually the background. There we go. So if nothing else, that will be serviceable. This is like the colour picker I just made on the base colour layer. I can remove that. I probably will, but I just had to make some reference of the colours by chucking them all out there. I think what I'm going to do is, I think this is the easiest way I can do it, so Control C, Control V. I copied the background. Okay, I didn't copy the right layer. I copied the background, not the base layer. I'm not sure if you can see it, probably not, but basically there's 2 background layers now, so I need to undo that. I need to go on base colour, and again, you can't see it. So base colour here is what I need to copy. So we'll go Control C, Control V. It should theoretically just copy the, copy the selected area. So then we can move these back down. Base colour copy, that can go on the front, and then we'll call that just for so little time, having an actual colour picker layer is useful, and then I can just erase it from here. Base colour, there we go. There, 2000, that's like the largest a brush will go. That's how far I'm pushing the resolution. So then we can bring that back. We've got the colour picker now. It is quite fun. I am enjoying this. I mean, I think I played around with the hat as well since last stream. I just did a lot of smaller things. Didn't spend loads of time on it, but I did a lot of smaller things, which does make a difference. I am seeing something else here as well. Just going into a colour layer, I'm seeing various things I can change. So, like, I think that would be the sock colour. So we'll go... There we go. I think that's, like, more accurate to what it's supposed to look like. And, I didn't colour that other part, so... Gonna have to make the pen smaller. Not that small. Let's try this. Just over 75 in size. Really having to focus on not overrunning the lines. And now we've done it. Yeah. My hair is generally like this. I do want to get it fixed a little, because I could trim it a bit and it would be generally nicer. But that's, my characters all end up looking like me in one way or another. Like that whole thing where it falls to the front, That's how Sakura's hair ended up looking, so it's no coincidence. That just carried across in a way. Oh wait, oh. Hello, Clonoa. I don't get many people here. I'm also dropping frames. I'm going to change for bitrate. Yeah, I'm not good at this stuff, but I try to be. So let's go with 3000 instead of 3200 kilobits per second. Still dropping frames. Okay, I don't like this. Why is it dropping frames? Yeah, it's sorry. It really isn't liking this. Has it stabilized? No. I was running at 2900 and it was fine for a while. I did get to push it up for bitrate a little, and that's just not that's not working so well. There's other avatars as well. I've got the Vocaloid pack. I also have Sakura and Cheese, which are two I made myself. They're not great, but it's a start. I'm working on something a little better. Yeah, someone ate the... Look, it's not my fault. The chords taste good. Thankfully, I don't eat the old 1930s or whatever, because there was a car company called Chord. Random fact I learned some point in the past. Sorry, it's still dropping the frames, and I've turned the bitrate right down. I do not know what's going on with this. Not receiving enough video. Yeah. Wait, my cheese is doing really well. My cheese avatar. There's one thing I can try, and that's changing the frame rate. Not sure how it will work with what's it? I did used to stream at 24 megabits per second. So yeah. Let's see. Random stream of me messing up my settings. Wait, speed? Okay. There's a speed setting on OBS. Let's try that. It was unbalanced. Please stop dropping frames. You are not going to stop dropping frames, are you? Well, there is the stream avatars, at least. They are still running. This machine does not give me issues, so it's not the video card. At this point, I might just... Yay, Guycoin, my dodgy cryptocurrency. So we have... This is like, why is it suddenly so bad? I started streaming and it was fine. No frame drops or anything. Right. Desperate times, desperate measures and all that. I've got to go. Have you stopped? Have you? No! I don't know what's going on. So I'll see what this message says. So, poor. I might try restarting the stream, see if it magically fixed it. Wait, have I? I think it may have stopped dropping frames. I'm sorry, the bitrate will look awful. I have to acknowledge that, but it appears to have stopped dropping frames. From what I can see. So we are back, hopefully. No, I think it's dropping more frames. Frames are getting dropped, and this is not good. So I think things are just a bit random. So no drop frames at the moment. Let's see if this is running on here. Numbers appear to be dropping still. Alright. I'm going to have to do something I really don't want to do. And that's 720p. Because 720p, at least I can run the output. So at least I can run it at 720p. Unless it's magically stopped dropping frames now. 708. No. I can't seem to find it. Output scaled resolution. Okay. Why is it saying 720 already? I'm sure I was broadcasting it at 1080, but I'm lost here. I could blindly hope it gets better, but okay, are you going to work, old system? Let's see. This is like the weirdest art stream ever. So I don't think I'll enter the password or anything. So I've got 2 Wi-Fi things. Yes, let's see if Wi-Fi 2 works, because I have a USB Wi-Fi and I have a ordinary Wi-Fi. Like this bitrate is pitiful now. It says it wants to run at less than 1,000. Hopefully. No, it's still not working. And it says it's running at 720 on the scaled. Yeah, I was sure this was streaming at 1080 and it's not even doing that. So, crazy things. I'm gonna have to just leave it. If it doesn't work, I don't know. Like, I can at least draw. It's dropping frames. I can leave it about 10 minutes or so. Hope it gets better. I mean, I don't know if the audio's stuttering in minutes, because I can't do anything about this at the moment. I've done what I can at turning the bitrate down and stuff. The only other thing I could think of is just outright restart OBS, but I think... Wait, I'm going to go... Like, at this point, I'm going to troubleshoot issues. Check the... If that... Like, sometimes opening the troubleshooter magically fixes it. Instead of that one, which was tied to the back. Have I fixed it? No, I have not. It says no drop frames suddenly. Has it worked? Has it fixed itself? I think it might have fixed itself. In some sense of the word. I'm not sticking it on 1080p again yet. But if I'm getting this flowing through with no frame drops, at least there is a thing. At least that is working in a sense of the word. Does it say anything about it? Stream health. It looks like it's functioning. It looks like we've fixed it for now. Was it... Again, I sometimes have the weirdest problems. Is it because I plugged the USB Wi-Fi into the front of the system? Now the frames are dropping again. Is it because I put my hand near it? These things are just crazy. Like, why? Why would it behave in this way? It seems almost like Sunday is just bad. And I mean, I don't want to come back on Monday and like have to redo it again, because Sunday is like my day for streaming and stuff, but then maybe I'll have to do a Monday stream again. Maybe I'll just have to start streaming on Monday, because at this point it is not liking Sundays. And I mean, it was working fine. I was using the internet last night. Nothing was going wrong with it. It was like loading everything fine. Frames are dropping, but despite frames dropping, I have got somewhat watchable, I think. More watchable than it was being. I mean, I made a dumb mistake though now, and it's still running in 720p, which I was sure this was running in 1080. It is not running in 1080. This looks almost like I've moved a colour layer, which does sometimes happen. Although also sometimes the lines just get moved and that completely changes where things are. Yeah, it's like the one moment I get someone else in the stream, everything just panics and has a panic attack. Right, I need to ask, so I need to ask something. Yeah, no, the only other way I could think is Saturday, because I know Saturday is still at the weekend. If Saturday somehow magically works, I should be able to stream on Saturday. It's as I say, it seems to be working better now. Like, obviously the bitrate and resolution and stuff are going to be pitiful, but at least it may be watchable. We need to find out if I know who's causing the frame drops. Let's find out, is it Sakura? Is she to blame? It would be funny if it said it is certain or something. Yes, I am causing them, and I'm proud. I mean, hopefully the bot thing will work. I mean, it does sometimes take its time. So we've got the base colour. I mean, as I say, the weirdest part is it was like the moment someone else joined, it had a panic attack. I doubt it. Yeah, sure you didn't do it, Sakura. Anyway, we have, yeah, I mean, as I say, it's crazy. Like, the moment I get another viewer as well, it's fine now. It's just the moment someone else joins the stream, it is, suddenly not working. I think we've got the base colour, more or less. Now, I did a little scaredy mouth, because I thought it would be fun. What I'm thinking of doing is, firstly, we get that down to 15, which is my general line art size. That's what they want you to think. Yeah, no, it doesn't like new people, but why? It's fine. As I say, now it's running. The stream is running. I'm not getting frame drops. I don't know. The muscles terrified my PC and it didn't know what to do. No, then why wouldn't it be terrified normally? Did I press save? I probably should have. It does this backup thing as well. And you are waiting to file. At this point, with Sunday being as cursed as it is, I'll probably just try Saturday in the future. I do want to get this finished today though, really. Like, I can run it onto another stream if I have to, because of the frame drops and stuff, you know. It's not fair to, like, just say, I'm not having the time for it. No, it's... my internet's, causing it. So, there we go. Yeah, Saturday shouldn't be an issue, though. Yeah. Save, there we go. It does that backup thing though. Now you'll see the little loading hoop, it takes a while. This image takes a while to save because I'm using 128,136 by 80,085 pixels in size. Because that's what I do. Maybe that's why the stream doesn't like me. But no, it's running fine now. The whole thing, it just runs, and I don't know why it's acting up at times. So I feel the teeth do need to be quite white. I'll go with like 250, so it's not quite absolute white, which would be 255. This should hopefully work for... I mean, I do normally look up the RGB values and stuff for my characters. I spend a lot of time just perfecting, but in this case... I don't really have the time to perfect every tiny thing. Okay, I'm not going to adjust the bitrate up, so if it looks terrible, it looks terrible. At least it's running. The curse of Sunday struck again. I mean, hey, that is at least a story of sorts. Someone joined the stream and then everything collapsed in on itself. So I think we want a more reddish colour. So does that work? No, I don't know. Maybe a little purpley pink type colour. I don't know if this is going to work. That looks decent for a tongue colour. I think I need to darken it for the more background of the mouth. That's the right kind of colour, I think. Like, that works. You can see what's supposed to be going on at the very least. New person. I was scared for a moment the stream was going to collapse. Yeah. Just whatever you do, do not gamble my internet connection. There's a million ways that could go wrong. So... we've got, I'm going to try and make a neck here. I mean, I could try simplifying this vector line and everything, but as I say, time constraints acting on me only allow me to have so much time to do each part. It is a neck. It joins the body and the head, and to be honest, it should always have had a neck. Wait, is it blue? The tongue looks pink to me on here. Again, I don't know if the bitrate is wreaking havoc, but I did have to lower that because of the whole frame drops and stuff. But the bitrate is maybe messing it up, but that shows as being pink to me. Yeah. The character now has a neck. The head isn't just floating like... I think that either out of a Wall-E, was it? I'll try and find it. Try and find an image of it. Because you'll know as you see it. Probably bring up a load of AI ones. It's not dropping frames somehow, despite me actually using the search feature. So actually, if I lower this, that will give me a bit more bandwidth free. Don't think it would have made a difference, to be honest. I mean, as I say, like, that doesn't look like a blue tongue to me. So, I'll have a look on the actual YouTube player thingy. It does. I'm pretty sure that is the bitrate though, because on my end it looks pink, but it does look blue on the YouTube side. So, yeah, that's a bit odd. But it's how it's working at least. I feel daring to turn the bitrate up, but that's not going to do any good. So, where was I? Ah, here it is. So it's this thing, like... hopefully it doesn't mess up the bitrate of this. But this is the thing. Like the neck, when you get rid of the neck, it just looks like kind of this thingy me bobber, which isn't loading. Can you see that one? There we go. It's finally loaded a thing in. Yeah, so it's like that. That's what it makes me think of when there's no neck. And it didn't drop frames loading that in, surprisingly enough. There we go. You needed to be erased because that part of the hand doesn't go on the front. Yeah, this cheese looks a bit odd. Like, why is it so much straight on the base? I guess it's one of those cases. We don't ask questions about that. So, I'm thinking of adding a bit of shading. I can use the don't cross vector lines thing. Yeah, that Eve droid. That's what it made me think of when the neck wasn't here. Just because that kind of has a floating head. That was the first thing like I ended up thinking of. So... in terms of this, what colour did I use? What RGB did I use for this? I can't find the eyedropper. So, okay, that's not absolute black. That gives me a bit of leeway. Although you won't see it on a device with inferior screens. And yeah, it'll probably look like the complete wrong colour with the low bitrate I'm forced to use right now. In the future, I will probably do Saturday because for whatever reason, I don't know if there's some kind of football game on or whatever every Sunday and like everyone on the street ends up using the internet for it. But something is just not working. Even so, they wouldn't typically have a game going on this late. So we've got okay, so if we do that, I've got these, I don't know where these folders came from, but I can try and make use of them. So that's going to be base colour. And then this one will be shading. This is why folders can be useful. So, no more drop frames at least. It has stabilised, although it's, I don't know how bad it looks on the YouTube end. Not good. And I just don't want to mess with the settings too much. What's the bitrate set at currently? At least being 720p, okay. So, what kind of bitrate can I carry this to? Yeah, it says like, okay, it's listed as 2000, which as I say is pitifully bad, but it's sometimes even dropping below 2000, so I think as much as it's not dropping frames now, if I try and raise the quality at all, it would probably start dropping frames. So, as much as I quite like the airbrush, you do want some, what you call it? So we've got this. This doesn't actually seem to give me the option I would like. So I'm going to go with 000, which is just absolute black, because I do need some darkening here in a surface where there isn't much chance for darkening. 110, maybe 200 if I try this. Maybe that's the right size. No. I'm going to have to go bigger with brush size. Now, trying to get this down to 1,000, but it's not so easy. As yeah, it doesn't like sticking on 1,000, so I could enter it on the keyboard, but I feel like this is going to be quicker somehow. Okay. I mean, I don't know if this is too much paint or whatever. No frame drops. But man, the PC doesn't like this. Yeah, I go see. It's not doing its job very easily. You see, I need it to have a shadow because there has to be some kind of shadow, so maybe this will work. At this point, all I can do is wait. Somehow not drop frames, despite the waiting. Come on. Yeah, it's like watching the loading window in loading like dial in Windows 98 or something. Only this PC actually has some power to it, and still. Are you going to work now? Like, this doesn't have to be exact, because clothing is not like a solid thing typically. Unless you're wearing a cardboard box. Typically there will be some variation in how things fall. Well, we undo that. Come on. Okay. See you in a moment. Elaine. I don't know, need to try and sort this out. To be fair, of all the times to leave, it's like, this will probably take an age. We'll go, get the vector Do not cross the lines. This should make it pretty easy though, because you can have an eraser that conforms to the vector lines. That does actually show up better than I was expecting. I thought you're not going to actually see the difference in colour, but at least on my display you can. I trust it's probably not going to be that visible on a display with all my low bit rates. So we've got make this a larger bush and job done. If I go soft light, perhaps? So we've got I see something that I need to shade. Where is the rotate? There's a rotate. So where is the paintbrush? This is so taking its time, and I do not like it. Is this paintbrush, I think? But it actually adds texture to the surface below it, which is the kind of thing. Come on. Is this actually going to work? I really do not know. Waiting for it to load in. Somehow not dropping frames. This should work well enough, I think. Don't fail me now, old PC. Are my performance metrics going mad? I don't know. I think it might be a CPU thing. Might be CPU bound for the actual loading stuff in. I was seeing people saying they had i9s and still struggling with larger brushes. This is a i7, which is about as old as you can get while still officially running Windows 11. I lost my paintbrush, and it was right there in front of my eyes. So there is now some shadow. Maybe if I could multiply perhaps? Because that should theoretically use what's below for colour. I want it to be visible though on both edges. Airbrush now, will you work for me? These are actually functioning. The paintbrush it did not like at all. So we've got I don't know, like it's strange because it doesn't drop frames even when I'm absolutely tormenting the machine. It's the internet connection. I feel like maybe that should actually match the teeth. I don't know. One thing I can try is adding the fade, which I should have done there. So we've got clothes 1. Lower arm shadows. There we go. YouTube is not receiving enough data. Well, apparently it's working. On OBS, it says I'm getting the frames. Yeah. The chords are tasty. I can't deny that much. Why does it say 39 minutes though, but the stream's been going on for 1 hour 37? This is odd. I think I know what's doing. I think I'm like 38 minutes in, but it somehow adds an hour because of the schedule or something like that. These I'm on the airbrush now. Like, the paintbrush was a nightmare. The airbrush is actually shading just fine. So I made a new layer for airbrush stuff. Like, I'm going to try and add some depth here. The thing is, it looks like I'm using too small an airbrush. If only I could make it larger, which I can't. It won't go any larger. That's how big my canvas is. So I think if I go with the eraser, softer way, so make that very large. Like, that's a way of going at it as well. And this will make sense when I change the opacity and stuff. There is the hat. I think if that's supposed to go like that way. There we go. Just trying to add some shading that makes this look like an actual 3D object and not a totally flat 2D object. I will add some lighting, but it's all now. Yeah, thing is, I do like airbrushing, but I have a tendency to overuse it. So, like, you know, I just throw it everywhere, and I shouldn't. There's better ways to shade, but I guess it's a case of do what I say, not as I do. Yeah, just, you see there. I mean, that's mainly because the brush is so tiny, though, compared to my canvas size. There's so much you can only do. Wait a minute. Am I doing this correctly? Is this actually... No, it isn't locked. Okay. Hard, I think, is locked to the vector array, so I change the brush. It doesn't. That is a lot better now, though. So that's a thing now. And our Darken is getting gambled. Everything is back in balance. Just checking the bit weight. No, I can't turn it up. Yeah, it's like, this is not getting any bit weight today. I mean, this can go. Like, don't need shading on there yet. Now, has the gambling taken place? I guess it has. I did think of this. Okay, so there's some details I missed off here. I was actually thinking of this. So we have the... Where was it? There was a... I don't know. I had the image somewhere. See if this loads up. Yeah, that's what I got as reference. So, gonna try and load it up on this other monitor here. Yeah, well, unfortunately, it doesn't say that you've managed to like rig the machine or something, as I added. I know exactly what to gamble. I won't load it up. No, I don't think it's on here. Maybe it's a Discord thing. Alright, I'm putting more stuff in the machines. What could possibly go wrong with putting a hot dog in a slot machine? Also, I'm changing the size of a one window. So we've got, yeah, so that's yellow. I've just got to try and make this work. Think, would pencil work? Kind of. I do have a yellow RGB somewhere here. I think that's probably about the best I've got without shading or anything. Okay, I'm getting this now. So we'll go with 300 for size. So one of those things is like you'd use a tenth normally of what I'm using. This canvas is massive though. Just like doing this on the base colour layer saves a bit of work. I'm not going to say it's the best way of doing it, but kind of what works. I will erase all those extra one-off pieces. I know, not the Mickey Mouse hot dog song. I feel like some people, I feel like I've got long-term trauma from having that stuck in their head when they have to have it on the television. Nope. I don't want to erase that. I forgot it was on the base colour layer and not on a different layer. Because I do use a lot of layers normally, but it's a case of, I'm just trying to kind of cut a corner to try and save a bit of time. And that's still on the eraser. There we go. I was thinking there needs to be some shading in other parts. So if we go shading, I put it lower arm shadows, which isn't really inaccurate, but it isn't really accurate, sorry. But we've got to add some shading in other parts of the image. This would be a like total absolute black because it works. Something like that, I don't know. Just something to give the idea there is some kind of depth. Like this is going to look a lot more dramatic than it is because I've added it deliberately so I can just erase the edge. Just so you see, like with the lighting and stuff. This is like the menu music on one of the Gran Turismo games. Like you hear it so much if you play the games. Yeah, like it's crazy because I like have this song and I just know it all too well, kind of thing. So here we've got that. The overall shading I think is going to work out. Again, like I can't make this any bigger. That's kind of the issue. I do need to add some shading to like give the muscle effect as well. No, that's going too low down. Like you need to have it, I think, fade out there. Oh, right, so if we go... Okay, that kind of works. So that's got like some shading back there. I think I can add some on the front, perhaps. Or like where you'd perceive a front to be. Not a whole lot though, like as you saw what I did higher up. Just the whole thing being that. This is really just to make the, well, where we perceive the front of a leg to give it a more pronounced nature. Because having that shaded, it implies like that's not directly in the camera, even if we're not shading it really heavily. And in fact, if we don't do that, it works kind of better because it implies there's also light behind the character. This will come more alive when we have some lighting, so it might not make too much of a difference right now. But we'll do this. I think subtract. I don't know. It's darkening the whole thing, so that's anyway. Like you see, just there's only 15% visibility. Not a whole lot there, but it's working. Yeah, I think that's okay for shading. But I don't know, like I think I want it a little harsher, because if you don't have it harsh at all, it's harder to tell if it's actually shaded. Also, it depends on the lighting. Like if this is supposed to be quite well lit, an area, there's going to be less shadows. So then we'll go, can I add a lighting folder? Lighting. Go and add another layer into this. So I'm just gonna call it arms because this is how I name everything, so it seems. I am not dropping any more frames though. That is at least something. It says an excellent connection now. I mean, I could try and do something more daring with the whole bitrate and everything. I don't know. So is it running fine through here? Like I can see, the thing is, I can see the frame rate and the bitrate. If the bitrate held at being higher, I could turn the bitrate up on the OBS, but I don't know if it will. You see, it dropped to like 1.7 briefly, and I don't really want it to drop frames again. Like, it's bad enough how it was before. Hopefully Saturday next week will be less cursed than today. And hopefully I can also set OBS up to running actual 1080p. So we've got lighting arms. This is going to be the opposite of the shadows. We're going to go with absolute white. I mean, there are ways to use colours better than I am, but from a time constraint, just using absolute black and absolute white, they do a good job of adding a sense of depth. That's not something I should be waiting for. Yeah, so it went on like the recovery thing at just one moment. What I actually like the idea of, though, I kind of like the idea of just making this hard. I actually did it once with Danielle Otaku's hair a long time ago, and for some reason I've not done it since. There's like add just really harsh lighting from the top. Yeah, I mean, like, all I can do, I know the internet I've got is not great, but if I can stream on Saturday and it will just work, you know, and not have all these issues, then I'd say that's a good thing. With a hat, I can't do like the same thing of making a really shiny head, which can look good. Unfortunately, I am not granted such a luxury. Yeah, it's almost on there like it's snowed. It will get less aggressive as time goes on. I'm testing things here. I feel like also if it falls like snow, I don't know like if this is gonna work. If I could get a blur tool. You see, this isn't perfect, but I think I can make it work, because I think when I soften this whole thing up so it's not as noticeable. As crazy as it might look now, it will make sense. I think I added some shading just under the hat. Probably not enough, but it will have some shade there. So if we do that now... Yeah, look, the hat looks a little less weird. So if we go, I think it's like glow or something I like using. Add glow. I think that's pretty good for lighting as a layer. I don't really know. And I'm probably peeking out the microphone, which isn't great. Okay, so I have just realised there's one thing I can do though, and that's what I missed. So we've not got lighting here, so I think, again... I'm trying to like get this looking kind of like it should. At this point, like, I am literally just guessing. So we've got can erase all of this. Well, perhaps not all of it, but most of it. I did add some shading to just below this cheese block. There we go. I think that's coming out okay. I'm definitely going to need some shine on the front. Yeah, that's the hat. It's the Indiana Jones hat that I just basically whipped off because the Indiana Jones hat I whipped off because I can't think of how to do anything better. I'm beginning to think that just doesn't actually work, having those pieces there. Like, the idea was there, but I'm beginning to think I should just remove them and use shading to get the same effect, and that might work better. So, what else have I got? I think maybe if I go like this. I am using too much airbrush. You can actually kind of get an airbrush eraser if I go on that. Like, that's basically airbrush eraser. That's soft eraser, so you can use it to like turn not airbrush stuff into airbrush. That just looks off. I think I'm onto something, I think, but what it is, I don't know. Actually, I've had an idea. This will probably work, actually, when I make it more opacity. Like, you'll see there's some kind of texture there. Maybe. No, apparently not. Anyway. Is it showing up? It's showing up on OBS. I don't know if the tongue's still showing up as being blue. Probably. I think the ribbon could do with some lighting, but I don't really want to mess with this layer. So we've got lighting. Again, what I called arms, but I basically used it everywhere. It just looks off when you have it like full, not opacity, but full just visibility, but you reduce that a little, it starts looking pretty decent. So go a bit light in there, maybe. Thing is, this doesn't look like an airbrush in the way that others do. I think maybe I'll go like there. That would like imply there is a certain level of lighting to it. I'm also using the soft eraser, and I don't want to. I want the vector aligned hard eraser. Okay, so what time are we now? 3:16. So we're just over an hour in. I think I've done okay. Like, you can see there's some depth to it. I think also I'm going to have to try and get this working. Like, I've got the shading as I've got it there. Again, I quite like having this little zigzag idea. Especially when it's more transparent, it should work better. So maybe if I go... erase that. This should look decent. As I say, it's going to be a lot more subtle than it looks when it's not transparent. So there we go. Honestly, they don't even look like legs anymore. They look like clothing, which maybe not ideal, but still. I do feel that there's something here. So if I go like that on there. Just a little ear, no. Just like an ear made purely of lighting. There, ear is ear. Actually, if I have the shine point in like the right area, almost like eye shine, but there's no eye. So I think if I get this right, I think it could actually look pretty neat. There we go. I have messed the character up with the shading and the lighting. Yeah, light it. Like, that is totally an ear now. But also, if it's like, if the head kind of goes out in the middle like that, I feel like the light would hit that part. So, there's a certain level of reality to that if I didn't, in shading and stuff, even if I didn't get it working. So, I don't know, I'm just going to call it airbrush. There was a time when that was just the arms. It is not just the arms. Just going to go like... Well, I want more... What do you call it? Depth to it. I might try and give some kind of background. This is actually going a lot quicker than I expected. I mean, granted it's not my best job of any colour thing, but I feel like it's got some sense of style to it. Which is better than nothing, I guess. And again, I'm going to get rid of these lines as they are. It was an idea, it didn't work. But at least I didn't dump loads of time into it. Yeah, it looks weird though if you don't have enough opacity on it. I'm also on vector line, not on the actual airbrush layer. So we've got add glow. I mean, as I say, I think there's some style. A lot of humanoid. Yeah. No fingernails. I don't know. Is the... No, there wasn't fingernails on the original. I was just whooshing. Like, I didn't think of fingernails because I was whooshing, but quite honestly, there is no fingernails. Granted, it does kind of make sense. I don't know, especially if you're not considering the character human. If a character isn't a human, then technically it doesn't need human features. It's like Sakura doesn't have human ears because, well, she's not fully human, so she doesn't need them. Also, I may have an easier job drawing the most complicated cat ears in all of existence than human ears. I can't draw human ears. I need to learn how to draw some kind of human ears, but I just ain't good at it. I mean, I've done Yellow Otaku, Daniel Otaku. They're both, they both have human ears. Even if they're technically slimes, so the ears are alive. They do have human ears. At least, visually. So I feel like here, I'm going to have to look, like, where is the light coming from? I have no idea. But I think, from what I've been doing, yeah, human ears are, they're kind of a nightmare, but there's got to be a way to do them. Because it's like, I can't imagine anime spending ages drawing tiny features on the ears that no one will even be able to see. So we'll go... This is a shading, isn't it? Subtractor. Lower arm shadows, I have called it. It is not just lower arms. So if I have that... So I think from what I'm looking at, the light is coming into the scene here. The light is coming in like there on the image, and then the darks are kind of there. I'm not really paying attention to it, but subconsciously I have given that as a light source. So in theory, yeah, we should have a bit of light in here more than we've got, because if that's exactly where the light is hitting, then you would think that part would have actually quite a wash of light. Gonna have to change this back to full white. So there we go. Like, we've got to hopefully get this where I need it to be. Can't help but think that shadow shouldn't be there, but at the same time, I don't know. So we've got lower arm shadows, as I call it, which isn't really arm shadows. So we're going to go, I think, 500, let's try. I'm just going to type it in. Like that, I'm fine having a bit of shadow behind the hand. That was just too harsh. Dare I say it, I feel like I may actually have this in some way finished today. Not the background, but the actual character. I mean, I may have finished enough. So we've got shading. Nope, don't want that. Where's clothes one? I think that's it. I think I've done it correctly. Have I? No. I don't know. I'm just lost at this point. So I think it was like 15 I'm using for both lighting and shading. Hmm. 5 million. What was that? The number of frames you need to draw on the ears. And that's not the shadow layer. So we've got lower arm shadows, as I called it, which, as I say, nothing really to do with lower arms. This is going to theoretically, so I would say here mostly, like if we're looking at the light source, this part is probably going to be dark. I guess like we can make that a bit more gradual line. So we've got that. That should work. So you can kind of see, like, if the light is going down that way, that it will be in shadow. So we're going to need a little bit of harsh lighting here. I think I'll actually make another layer for that. Just for, like, really harsh lighting. I actually typed that correctly, even though it's kind of whooshing. So, harsh shadows. I think what I'm going to do here, I think I'm going to go with this. So I disable the do not cross lines of a vector layer. And then I'm just going to, where there's going to be some like really harsh lighting, I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to try and perfect it with like the eraser airbrush. Because I feel like this could work pretty good as a method. And then we can also just if there's going to be really harsh lighting anywhere on the image, I think the arm's fine. I can try and learn muscles in like the quickest time ever. So I can't guarantee they're going to be good, but I'm going to try. I mean, a white background isn't ideal for this erasing business, but I can try. So you'll see this is white. It's not going to be like this forever. But it's going to be this for a while. Now the eraser, go with a soft eraser. There we go. Just chip away at this, I would say. So we've got kind of this. Now, so I think if I go make this like 500. Yeah, I mean, I can't believe everything I do is good, unfortunately. I can't see it, you know, like, as much as I try, I feel like there's so many better ways I could do things. I try and learn, but it's all I can do, really. Yeah, I don't know if I'm a fan of this look. So if we go, I think that works actually on the on this part. I mean, I try and like the big thing I try and do is design characters. Because, well, firstly, the story needs the designs to show people what the character looks like, and I just try and do a decent job of that, really. So again, this is going to look off for a moment, but it's one of those things, I guess, trust the process. So if we go, yeah, so you can see like there's a bit of glow here. Hard light, perhaps? So we want this to kind of show, so let's go 33, which is a third. I think that looks okay. Now we've got the, I could add a bit of shadow in the mouth, because just to show that there's some depth there. Like, as it stands, that is very two-dimensional, and I don't like that. Maybe there shouldn't even be a tongue there. I don't know. I think it works well enough. Where am I? Harsh lighting. So, as I was saying, we're going to need that kind of on the face. I tried to force out a nose because, you know, I can't draw without a nose. It's not a real nose, though, it's just mainly a bump where the nose would be. Because I just feel that looks a bit more natural, and it's somewhat to do with the overall silhouette of the original. It just works. Granted, I'm pretty sure, as with all my work, I just end up making the head bigger. Even if there's no eyes to make larger. Like, that's the whole reason I draw heads so big. It sounds as dumb as it is. I just, I had to fit bigger eyes, so the head got bigger. There we go. I feel like this looks okay. I mean, as I say, the light source. So if we've got the light coming in this side, basically straight at the face, maybe want to add a bit like lower down, because as I say, that's where the light is coming from. And I'm also on the wrong brush. I'm not on the eraser, rather. There we go. So I did just realise I blindly missed this. So this, you see, is like, this is where the light is crashing on the scene harshly. So needs to be like that. I think 33, as I say, that works. And I think, yes, it's a bump. Trying to look like Indiana Jones. It convinced most people because there's a nose. Like, that's why. That's why everyone actually believes she's Indiana Jones, because there's a nose on there. What looks vaguely like a nose. No one asked any questions because of that. So, as I say, the light crashing in on that side. I'm on harsh lighting on the lighting, though. I need harsh shading, really. This is like a little trick, though, I do quite like using, where you do something like this. And then you use the eraser, and it actually tidies it up really nicely, because... more nicely than you would probably expect. Like, this looks like a total mess right now. But, this looks like a total mess, yet... when I go over it with the eraser... honestly, I want some right at the front, because that's where the hat is. This is like 1,000 pixels wide, actually. Wow, I thought it was on 2,000, but anyway. So this... I think you can also use kind of this trick with metal, because metal's supposed to have quite sharp shadows. So, I think if I actually go 2000 now, I can probably get a lighter edge, like softer edge. Because as I say, the light is hitting on the front. So we've got that. So it's 3:33 now, in my time. As I say, this will still look a bit weird as it stands. It will make sense. So we erase that. I mean, as I say, if I'm lucky, we'll get this foreground done. And then maybe I could do a stream on working on the background. Like, that looks so two-dimensional, though, without the shading on it, that ribbon. I know. She does look like Indiana Jones. It's a combination of the nose and the hat. Who's supposed to know? So I think if we go soft light, is it? I know it's not light, it's kind of darkening, but I think I do want it to look soft, so that's what I'm going with. There you go. I think that looks kind of shiny. Now, I'm going to have to make this darker because it's absolute black, so like absolute no colour in a way, you could say. I'm going to have to make this darker. I think just having it like 5 even though, you can kind of tell there is some lighting going on. So even though you shouldn't be able to see it at 5, if you go to 0, yeah. Like, it's very gradual, but you notice it to the eye. You notice that slight colour change. I think also black is a lot more noticeable than the white when layered up above the original. So that's part of the reason. Got the nice shine there. Should I add, like... I could add blush, but that just wouldn't work. Because, what, you embarrassed of a giant oatmeal raisin cookie? Harsh lighting. Okay, we can erase this. We're on I don't think we're on the, Oh, we are on that. Okay. There we go. So, the mouth, I was saying, needs to be a little more three-dimensional. Other than that, I think I've done okay. It's shoes as well. Shoes, might I add, because they have the 2 parts. So the shoes and the mouth, everything else looks fine. I think the shoes will be easy to make glow. So I'm gonna add the glow to this. So we've not got harsh lighting on here yet. Actually, now I can use the eraser here because it kind of overruns onto the shoes in a way I don't want it to. That looks awkward. I'm pretty sure if I get the white working a little better, it will be fine. I also have that random piece there that I think I took off the shoe and I never bothered to do anything with. Still, yeah, 1536. So that would be about how long? 25-ish minutes, because I stream for 2 hours typically, and that should be enough, honestly, to get this overall body done. And that is not lighting. Again, I don't using the exact white and exact black extremities. It's very easy. You don't have to enter any fancy RGB values. Nah, I almost had something. I was almost onto something there. So, okay, we've got the shading. I have to remember that with the harsh lighting, harsh shading and stuff. There is a way of doing it. So I feel like here... So we'll go add a bit of light there. So that is a little more flat on, but I don't think I want to go too far. So go add a little shine maybe. Nope. So it needs to be kind of close to the front, but I can get that working. There we go. The shadows are going to have to carry this a little. I'm not dropping frames. I will hopefully by next Saturday though, it will look less horrific on the stream. It's just, I could possibly turn the bitrate, again, it then dropped below 2000 briefly, so I just know that would result in frame drops if I tried to turn it up. So we've got like 15 here, I believe it was. You see, there it's a lot less harsh and it makes sense. Now, we also have to do our harsh lighting, so do not cross lines of a vector is disabled. So we've got that now. Like, this is going to be the harsher lighting on the image. There we go. And then the shading will really carry these shoes. Because it's not horrific as it stands, but it does need the shading to carry it, so I'm going to enter 1000. I'm pretty sure this was on 1000. How did it get to like 973 or some awkward number? Okay, I added that on the wrong layer. No less. No less. Harsh lighting. At this point, it's kind of better to put more of the pen on than less. And that is not what I want. I want a softer one. Maybe that's why. So I think it's because of how that was configured. So go 100%. This will actually help me see the edge a bit, so it's not like highlighted weirdly. There we go. And understandably, this will look weird. Do not cross that. They are vector lines, reference lines. There we are. Then we've got the shading, which will also carry this quite a bit. I mean, I might have to adjust it later on with a different colour background, because the white background isn't great, but for what we've got, I could be doing worse. Why is Sakura being gambled? Look away for a minute, and my child is being gambled. You can actually put, you can just put the, like, Sakura, what's it, emoji, and put gamble that. It's basically the same meaning. So we've got harsh shading here. This is going to be, again, this is less dramatic at like 5 for opacity. But here we've got one thing, like you see. I did this on the head, remember, and it worked fine. It looks off when you first start, but after a while, it makes perfect sense and everything just falls into place. And we're also not even on the soft eraser. So what I did on the head, I did that to begin with, I think. Actually, I think, yeah. Because remember, the shoe is likely to curve down somewhat. So I feel by doing things this way, we kind of lean into that. Like, there's going to be more shadow when something leans downwards. Like that. Or tilts. I don't know how to say it. Then we can just erase this. Like, it doesn't matter if it's imperfect. That stuff is never going to be seen because it's all just going to be erased and forgotten. So then we've got to go soft eraser. We're going to go to 2000 for size instead of 1000. Now Sakura has been gambled in both ways. There we go. So we're going to go back to 5%. You see, this is like nowhere near as harsh as it was initially. So you don't really... It's one of those things, you don't initially notice it. But when you do, eventually notice it. So I think that was 33. That looks about right. Is it? Yeah, it looks okay everywhere else. It seems very harsh on the shoes. I actually kind of feel like that needs to be larger. Now I look at it in the whole perspective, where the light is shining from and stuff. But at least now I know, kind of thing. Actually, maybe, yeah. Maybe this is what I missed originally, because... So that's likely turning away. I don't know. So that's like turning away a bit. I think that might be correct now. So then we've got to go with the hard eraser, which is good for just fixing stuff. Because I'm just looking at how harsh it ended up being on the final piece. This should soften it up a bit nicely so it doesn't like scream out at you that this is lighting. There we go. Okay, so I got that 15 minutes. I could easily finish the general colour of this in 15 minutes. And I mean, this is basic shading pretty much. Like, I could try and do a lot more complicated shading. I could try and give the muscles some detail, because there is supposed to be muscles. And the bow as well, actually. The bow is probably the most important thing. Like, if I'm to cut any corners. But here we also have harsh lighting. Okay, I think I can see something here. Not harsh lighting. Harsh shading. I thankfully just realised that in time. So we've got this. Where are we? So there needs to be shadow here. The teeth can probably have a glow. Like, the teeth having a glow will work. Where am I? There we go. So we'll go with this. Just a very basic kind of shading here. And then I'll probably make this smaller in terms of like the soft eraser. Make it down to like 500. Like, it's fine if there's less of a sharp edge. Make that like go round because of the teeth, maybe. Yeah, because the teeth are supposed to go back. I don't know. I probably won't have to do anything with the tongue. Like, that's probably fine as long as I leave it. I don't know if that fixes it, if that makes it look less blue with all that, like, black shadow and white on the other side. I don't know, but, like, this just has to be done to get the shading there. I think also, lower arm shadows, I believe, is the airbrush. Here I have a plan. You see, like, the airbrush is maybe not the most obvious thing to use here. If I go with like 200, just to really add that bit of a sense that the lip is making a shadow, if there's a lip, well, the top edge of the mouth, I guess. 500 then. 500 size may work a little better. So remember, this is going to be like 15, so this will also lose a certain level of not depth, but a certain level of harshness. There we go. Oh no, there we don't go. You messed that up bad. Like, I tried to do it all in one brush stroke. It did horrendous stuff. I don't know about Scary Movie. Sorry. I don't know anything about it. Like, if only I did. Also, hello, Ghostface. I'll be finishing soon, because I normally stream like 2 hours each week. Today is cursed, so as in the actual stream is at a horrendous resolution and bitrate because my internet is just failing me. Gave me horrendous frame drops. So this is what we're having to deal with for now. But hopefully, we'll probably do Saturday next week, so it will be better. Hopefully. Just working on the shading here of the Elena character. I mean, I think I've done okay. It's got some lighting. Kind of all over the place. But it works well enough. So we've got harsh lighting is what we've got. All these various layers I've got for lighting and shading. We've got yeah, this. Do we want this? I don't know, because harsh lighting. Okay. I think I'll have to start harsh lighting too, because I don't want to erase harsh lighting too, because I going to try and get this working, so just make this white. Gonna try and give it that like glow on the teeth. Is this right, so there should be background. Oh, I am immediately seeing my problem now. I've got rid of the white background. Harsh lighting too, anyway. We can try and fix that in a moment. Is this set to not cross vector lines? No, it isn't, so that's something. Harsh lighting is actually okay for the most part. It's just this face part. For some reason, I just completely messed up and I didn't erase it properly. There we go. And I'm erasing the wrong layer again. Yay. Incompetence that I am possessing. So, what I've got here, I do need to add Well, I do need to erase, but I need to do it in such a way. So 250, I think, for size. Which, because I'm using a 128,136 by 80,085 pixel canvas, the pens are all tiny. Clip Studio doesn't even like officially supporting this resolution, but I have my ways. There we go. Hopefully this looks decent enough, but I've got some nice tooth shine. Teeth shine, whatever. Glamorous even when you're running away from the Temple of Cheese. Yeah, so harsh lighting 1, that needs to be down to, I think, was it 33? I think it was. Okay, so I've got about 10 minutes realistically to finish the shading, which I think I can do. Maybe one thing I can look up. See how this goes. Imagine if my buff reference was actually lagging the entire stream and causing frame dips. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't remember the temple one. Was that like one of those? I don't know, where you endlessly won. I don't know, but anyway. It was quite an iconic movie, so it wouldn't surprise me if there was a lot of inspiration there in other medias. So airbrush. Let's make the bow glow. And I think I don't know, the light's hitting in the right way. Yeah, running away from evil monkeys. I don't know, I feel like, the thing is, I feel like I should know that, but I don't. We do need the oatmeal raisin cookie though. I'll probably do that next stream. I just want to get the character done today, then we can go crazy with the background. Yeah, so I think I'll just finish off with the bow for now. And then maybe I could add some of the muscle shading and stuff next time. I have enough layers and enough power to do all this stuff. As long as the whole base image is done, I can add a bit of detail here and there. Yeah, is this like... It looks kind of shiny. Have I made something... okay, I think I get it. I think that should be 15, shouldn't it? 15 does look more natural. To me, at least. So we've got that. We're going to have to add a bit of shading, and then we're going to have to add the harsh lighting, and I think that will be good. Harsh lighting was 33. Harsh lighting was 33. Harsh lighting had to be that. Airbrush was supposed to be 15. So we'll go... Is this, no, it's not connected to the vector lines. No, we need that to be larger, because I have an idea of what to do here. So let's go 750. So we've got this, we don't want that to be on 2000. Maybe like 500. Maybe we also need the eraser on 500. Don't know, it's on 250, I could give it a go. Hopefully this will make sense in a moment why I'm going about it this way. I mean, the shading is going to be something else to do. Yeah, yeah, true. The oatmeal raisin cookie. I mean, that's why you have to run from it, though. They knew what they were doing. They made the trap of, like, the most evil thing they could possibly think of. So, that is why it has to be an oatmeal raisin cookie. There'll probably be another stream on Saturday, though, where I finish the background and stuff. And then that'll be a good final piece. Just before I go, I will just make sure the bow is finished, because, I mean, I can do that much. Given how, in the grand scheme of things, even with the frame drops and stuff, I've got quite a good amount of work done on this, I feel. I mean, the line art is hard for me, so shading, as long as I'm not going to try and deliberately make the thing really fancily shaded, which I'm not, I can get this done, and it looks a lot more nice than it otherwise would. So we've got mine says 300, so yeah, it's then I find out like I wrote 300 in the comments or something instead of actually into Clip Studio. So this is going to be harsh, really just harsher lighting, harsher version of what I did before. Try 500. I was thinking 600, but then again, maybe with the overall size. This actually sounds like a version of a song that's in, or what's it called? Music that's in Gran Turismo, but it sounds like an alternate version of it, because I've heard the original quite a few times in the game. So what, we're on 250, okay. Use that higher up. So this is basically going to be the harsh lighting here, so there's kind of a dip in there, but it's okay. Actually, maybe I could make deliberate dips in there, because the bow isn't like a completely rigid thing, so I mean, what I'm thinking here, I mean, I did mess around with the Orella hair in that one recent piece I did. Played around a bit with the lighting on that, and I think it worked okay. No, thank you. I do appreciate kind comments of my work, even if I'm not socially good enough at showing how I appreciate it. So here we've got, yeah, what I was saying, I'm basically going to do the outline, and then I think I'm going to make it look just generally more overall polished. And when I've done the shading, I will be going now, because it's getting that time. I mean, there's not like any obligation I leave at this moment, but I do need to get my food and stuff. I will post a screenshot of this, and when I've got the final version, I'll try and find a way to upload that full resolution somewhere. Discord won't take it unless you have like the premium version, which I don't, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, Aurella's crazy. There's also the other one I had, the other girl I had, who was like tormented by Orella just so that she could get better exam grades, because the thing is, she's like academically not that good, yet she knows how to manipulate and use others to get what she wants, and thus we have these people who are actually good at their exam grades and stuff. They actually suffer because she's good at like faking it. She's good at like just, you know, breaking the rules, stealing the exam results, stealing like the correct exam answers, and then no one ever finds out it's her. That's why the other two, Darren and what was it, Arvela, they always suffer because of her like need and desire to look perfect. So there we go. I mean, this will look better, I think. You forgot to eat. Yeah, but I mean, we're talking like a school exams here. We're not talking like getting a job. Yeah, and it's to do with all the past and everything, and that she never wants anyone to find out about who she was. And then she ends up getting summoned to this other world. Darren does, but he gets used by someone who literally looks like the Burger King. Because they have the king, but he looks like the Burger King. He even has a plastic-looking face and everything. Because basically they're using him as like this hero to threaten and control the population. So they're like, you're the hero. Really? No, it's just... He's the hero is the guy they use. Like, it's not even really a title. It's just that if they think that these people have a hero on their side, they're less likely to act against them. Because, you know, heroes are powerful and strong and all that. But the thing is, the one person that says to him that he shouldn't go with them is Orella, and after everything that's happened before, you think she's someone he's going to trust. She was correct in that case, but it's like, after everything happened, he's justifiable for not wanting to listen to her. There we go. Like, this looks bad, but hopefully it'll look better. I don't know, I think if I had some shading, maybe. You have a hero. I think, like, if I remember correctly, it is subject to change, but I think they called him, like, the sword hero or something. Like, that's just what they ended up calling him. Okay, so we'll go... Do not cross lines of vector layer. No, we don't want that on that one. We want it on this one, though. Okay, I think that is, I think that's actually working. So we've got, I appear to have used the airbrush on the harsh lighting. It's too far to go back now. I also haven't done that properly. So that's what we've got for now. I mean, I might have to work on something. Yeah, Arvela is like, basically it's Arvela from an alternate world kind of thing. Not alternate world. It's basically like Orwella, but if she didn't end up being extremely buff and everything, and if her past was different kind of thing, but it's like they're different people. But you can see that, like, they ended up together, and then Arvela ends up suffering. Which is like the normal Orwella, for lack of a better term. So this is what we've got for now. I'll add back the white, and then we'll go. So this is what we got for now, because I'll just be finishing off now. It's 4:07, and then I'll probably be back next Saturday, given how things have gone with the internet connection. Hope it's better. Yeah, I did put it there very recently. Like, it's an idea I had for a while, and I just refined it, and I was finally ready to publish. I think there is a little more than I put on there, like explaining it. But basically, yeah, I needed to make Orwella's story more in depth, so I introduced a couple new characters. Well, Darren wasn't really new, but I incorporated him into the thing, and it made more sense, I think, after all. Gives her a bit more dimension as a character. I will be finishing here anyway, so if I can get the snipping tool. Oop. So I'll just be taking this. Okay. Goodbye, then, I would say, as I capture that. So now I have this ready to upload. I will see you next time. I will probably do a writing stream as well at some point, because I have so many ideas I can have fun with on that story. And, you know, I've not done a writing stream in a while now, almost a year, so yeah. So I'll leave it here for today. Just stop the music, and I will say goodbye.